Albion is brutal, complex and absolutely addictive if you survive the beginning. So, in this video series, I am going to walk you through everything the game should have told you step by step, and by the end, you will be ahead of 90% of the new players. This is SuperPuff's Ultimate Beginner Guide series. This will be a 10-part video series, and each part will be an in-depth guide to various topics which will help you become a veteran in no time. In this video series, we will cover basics of Albion and the tutorial walkthrough, getting into combat, PvE and PvP, beginner's guide to crafting, guide to enchantment and artifacts with runes, souls, relics, shards and crystals, yellow zone contents, ultimate guide to black zone, how to succeed as a solo player, guide to guilds and group play, small scale and ZVZ basics, and how you can become the ultimate shot caller. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Let's start with part 1, Basics of Albion Online. If you don't have Albion and you want to play Albion, you can just click the link in the description to download the game. It is my referral link, so I will receive some small goodies as well. And you can play the game for completely free. It's a free game. You can download it from the website and you can just start playing. First thing to know about Albion is that Albion is not like most of the MMOs. There are no classes and you are what you wear. There is a player-driven economy. Each item is crafted by another player. There are full loot PvP zones where if you die, you will drop everything that you are carrying. And there are no level system. You progress by doing things like crafting, gathering, fighting. Your strength comes from your gear and your experience and how well you understand the game mechanics, which you will start learning from this video series. As soon as you start the game, you will be given to choose a character gender. It is important to note that you cannot change the gender later on. Rest of the character designs you can change anytime you want, so do not worry about it. Next up, you will have to select a name. This is a permanent name and you cannot change it later on, so be careful not to put anything offensive. Now be sure that the play tutorial button is on. You need to play the tutorial to understand the basics, and it will also help you along the way. Now, select the server you want to play. I am from Asia, so my ping is low. Look at the ping and select your server and click confirm. Now you're gonna start the game by entering the world. Welcome to the glorious land of Albion. Here you can start moving by right clicking. If you have played anything like Dota 2, League of Legends or Path of Exiles, you'll be pretty familiar with this system. But I'm gonna make your life even easier. Go to settings, key bindings and look for auto run. Here you can assign any key on your keyboard. I personally like to use spacebar for auto run, and when you hit your auto run key on your keyboard, your character will start moving towards the cursor. So you don't have to keep right clicking anymore. This is very helpful and it will help you a lot in the later stages of the game as well. Now move up the stairs and talk to the first quest giver. He will tell you to go up the stairs, so you can just follow the white circles, and once you keep moving, you'll realize that it is basically showing you the island, and from above you can see the bridge and the ship. Now you can complete the quest and he will tell you to gather some rough logs and rough stones. Be sure to accept the quest. Here everything will be highlighted in the white circles, so you can just collect the rough stones and rough logs. You will need 6 of each. You can just left click on them and you will collect them. Once you complete the quest, he will ask you to craft a beginner board sword, and you can click on the warrior scores here and you can craft the board sword. Now you'll have to equip it, so you can open your inventory by pressing I, and to equip the board sword you can drag it or just right click on it and it will be equipped. Now If you click the board sword, you can see that there are 2 spells, and basically you can read all of it, but you can see that first one is a single strike, like single target, and the second one is an AoE. Now complete the quest and you will receive this shield. You can equip it as always by right clicking on it, and we move on to the next part of the tutorial. Now on this bridge you see these mobs. We can just Q them. We hit our Q spell and the mobs are dead. Be sure to right click on them to attack them, and there's a mini boss. To defeat the mini boss, just press Q and be sure to dodge its abilities. If you dodge its abilities, you will not take any damage. Just Q and right click and we'll be done. It has given us a hood, which is an item for your head, and you can see the spell here. It is a shield. You can just right click on it and wear it. Now we move on to the next part of the tutorial. This is the main tutorial area. Here you can see there are lots of other players who have just started playing the game, and the Captain Tia is highlighted by the white circle. You can go to her and accept her quests. She will tell you to buy a mount from the marketplace, and in the marketplace you can buy a novice mule for 3 silver. Now buy the mule, open your inventory with the button I, and you can equip it by right clicking. And to mount up, you can press this mount up button, and there is a shortcut. You can change the shortcut by going to the key binding. I like to use X for my mount up button because it is closer to my auto run, which is spacebar. You can use whatever you want. Now move north and talk to Mr. Silas. He will tell you to acquire 1 beginner pickaxe and 1 beginner axe. You can see that it can be crafted by logs and rough stones. So you can see that there are tons of rough stones and tons of rough logs. Just collect a few of them, and you can go to the tool maker here, and you can craft your beginner pickaxe and your beginner axe. Now you can go and talk to Mr. Silas again. He will give you a sickle and a skinning knife, and for the next quest you have to collect some birch logs and some rugged hide. For that, go northeast to the woods, and here your objective will be indicated by the white circle, and it is showing that you have to collect birch trees, and it shows how it looks like. So you can just click on the trees and collect the logs. Click on the dead fox to collect the hide. Once you have 6 of each, you can go back and talk to Mr. Silas again. This time he will ask you to gather some copper ore and some cotton fiber. Go to the mountain on the right side. Here the game will show you what the copper ore and the cotton looks like. Now collect some ores and some fibers. You will need 6 of each. Now go back to Mr. Silas again. For the next quest, he will ask you to refine all the gathered materials. For refining, you can see all these refining stations here. Go to the smelter. Here you can refine the ore to metal bar. Next up, go to the tanner. Here you can refine the hide to leather. Next up is the lumber mill. Here you can refine the logs into planks. And then finally you can go to the weaver. Here you can refine your cotton into cloth. Now you have to deposit all these refined materials to the ship captain. Then go and talk to Captain Tia, and she will give you a carrot soup, and you can just equip it by right clicking on it. And then she will ask you to steal the heretic map, which you can find in the woods, that is in the northeast. Here the game will introduce you to the destiny board. You can see it is blinking on the top right corner. You can click on it and you will see this big giant circle like a spider web. Now, don't be afraid of this. It is very simple once you understand it. This is where all your progress is stored, and you can see the destiny board. On the left side you have the fighting nodes. On the right side there are the crafting nodes, which will progress as you craft more items. On the north side there are the adventure nodes, which will unlock your capes and mounts. On the left side it is the rivers that gives you bonuses against mobs. And other than that, there is a gathering node, which we will get into in the later stages of the game. For now, let's move on with our tutorial. Go to the woods, and here you can see the objective is glowing with the white circle. By the way, you can open up this minimap by pressing the N button. Now you can gather up these mobs and you can kill them with your Q and your normal hits. At the center in the white circle you will see the map. You can just click on it, and here the game will ask you to kill as many heretics so that your trainee fighter node levels up. So just kill as many as you can with your Q and your normal right click. Be sure to collect the silvers, that will come in handy when you finish the tutorial. Once you have killed enough mobs, it will pop up that you have achieved the mastery. The trainee fighter node will be available, and which will allow you to wear tier 2 items. Now we have to go back and talk to Captain Tia, and after completing this quest she will ask you to craft a weapon. You can choose anything. Let's do a bow. To craft a bow we're gonna need some planks. So let's go into the woods and start collecting some logs. You will require 32 numbers of planks to craft a bow. Once you have enough, just move back to the lumber mill and refine all your logs into planks. Now go to the hunter's lodge, and here you can craft your bow. Now in your inventory you can right click on it to equip it. You get 2 options for your Q. You can select any of them. I personally like the second one. Once you complete the quest with Captain Tia, for next quest she will ask you to wear a tier 2 chest armor, a tier 2 head armor, and a tier 2 foot armor. You can go into the shop and select everything by category wise, from chest armor, head armor, and foot armor, and you can wear any of the tier 2 items. It doesn't really matter. Once you have the items in your inventory, you can right click on them, and this will allow you to select a spell for them. For your armor you can select Bloodlust, which is like a lifesteal and it will heal you for the damage you do. And for your head armor you can select the shield, it's pretty good. And you can select on passive, it's a damage and healing cast is really good. For foot armor you can use the rejuvenating sprint, which is a heal. Again there is a passive which gives you defense and carry weight. Select the defense one. Once everything is set, go and talk to Captain Tia to complete the quest, and she will give you a cape, and you can just right click to equip it. For the next quest she's gonna tell you to call the ship by lighting a fire. For this you need to go to the mountain again. Once you are in the mountain, you will have to kill 10 heretics or the mobs. You can easily do it by your bow. Use your spells like Q, W, and E, and you can just hit them down. It is very easy to kill 10 of them. Here I'm gonna show you another cool trick. Go to the settings. By the way, you can change your cursor here, and then you go to the mouse control scheme, and it should always be on RTS. And for the spell casting you can choose the normal casting, which will give you a lot of control over your spells, or you can select quick cast on press and quick cast on release. Both are pretty good. quick cast on press is pretty fast when you are trying to play really fast, and quick cast on release gives you a little bit more control. I personally like both of them depending on the situations, but I think if you are new, you can start with quick cast on release. I think that's a pretty good spot to start with. And with this control only, you will be ahead of a lot of players while doing PvP. You will feel the difference as you play along. Once you are done killing your 10 mobs, the game will ask you to light a fire, which you can do here. Now the game will tell you to go to the white circle spot to call the ship by signaling a fire. Here you can see the ship coming, and if you come back, you will see this is the gate which will lead you to the ship. But before we go, we have one last thing to do. So for that we need to go back. I know this is kind of counterintuitive, but this will help us with some silver in the beginning of the game. So let's just go back. Here I'm gonna tell you a trick that will allow you to gain some extra advantage in the beginning of the game. For this, you need to craft a bag, and you can see for a bag you need cloth and some leather. So we already have some cloth and leather with us, so let's just collect some more cotton and some hide. We can grab the cotton right here in the mountains, but for the hide we have to go back to the forest area. Now go to the tanner and refine your hide to leather. Then go to the weaver, refine your cotton to cloth, and then you have to go to the tool maker, and in the tool maker we can craft our bag, and this will give you some carry weight. And you can also change your boot passive to carry weight. Now I can trash all our stuff in our inventory, we don't need them anymore. With this setup, you can buy 5 mules that you can carry with 142% carry weight. These mules sells at a very high price in the royal cities, so buy them in the market here. And now we'll get out of this tutorial island. Now talk to Captain Tia here, and she will ask you to talk to the navigator. And at the navigator, which is symbolized by the compass icon, you can select any of the starting cities. These cities, here it shows what is the most available resource here. For example, in Bridgewatch there are plenty of hides. So let's start with Stepcross, which will be the starting city for Bridgewatch. As you reach here, you will be given a choice to choose a path. You can choose Adventurer, Duelist or Gatherer. For starters, you can start with Adventurer. Later on, it really doesn't matter. Choosing the Adventurer will ask you to do a randomized dungeon. But before you do your dungeon, you should go directly to the city, the main city that you are close to. For here, we have to go to Bridgewatch. To get to Bridgewatch, we just have to keep walking northwest, and after 2 zones, we'll reach Bridgewatch. After reaching Bridgewatch, go straight to the marketplace, which is symbolized by the hammer icon here. And in the market, if we go to the sell tab, we can see that the mule is selling for 1000 silver, which you bought only for 3 silver. And if we put it on a sell order, we can get around 1944 silver for each mule. So let's put everything on sell order and move on with our quest. So first, like this, we'll go and do our randomized dungeon. For that, let's go to the green circle here. And here we can see in the minimap that our dungeon is being shown by a glowing green circle. So let's go there. Once you reach the dungeon, just dismount and left click on it to enter the dungeon. Once you're inside, start clearing the mobs with your Qs and Ws and use your E for maximum damage. Make sure that your food is on, or if your food has run out, you can eat another soup which will regenerate your HP whenever you are out of combat. Whenever you are facing a boss, be sure to dodge all its abilities and keep using all your abilities to output the maximum damage, and this way you can clear the boss pretty easily. Be sure to grab the chest. This will give you some tomes. This tomes gives fame to whichever items you are wearing. Now go ahead and keep clearing the dungeon with your abilities. Be sure to dodge all the abilities by the mobs. When you reach a boss room, be sure to clear all the mobs that are in the corners. This way it will be easier to kill the mobs after that. Now start hitting the boss. Be sure to dodge all its abilities. And you can just use your Qs, Ws and Es to output all your damages. Be sure to maintain your distance. Use your helmet ability. And if you are low, use your boot sprint, which will regenerate some HP, and you can maintain some distance as well. Once the boss is dead, you can open the chest for some rewards. Here it is not much, but it is something. Now press your mount up button to get out of the dungeon. Now open your journal and you can claim the reward here. You will get a royal sigil. Now click change and select the duelist. Hit confirm and you can claim another reward, which is another sigil. Now you have 2 royal sigils, and now you can skip this one, which will unlock all the rewards for you. And you can see you will get around 12 unclaimed rewards. These are all tomes, so you can use them later on. Now go back to the city. Once you are in the city, go directly to the market and sell the royal sigils directly. This should give you around something more than 50,000 silver, which will unlock an achievement, which is like sell items worth of 50,000 silver, and this will give you a 3 days premium pack. You can use this token to activate your 3-day premium immediately, or you can save it for later. It is totally up to you. In Albion, premium has a lot of benefits, like you'll get 30 learning points every single day, 10,000 focus points every day, 50,000 bonus fames, and there are a ton more like gathering yield, crop yield, and reduced market tax. To buy an island though, you need at least 7-day premium. You cannot purchase island from this 3-day premium token. I have made an in-depth guide about owning an island. I'll put the link in the description below. You can just go and check it out. Now you can claim all the rewards and go southwest to the market, which will lead you to the bank, where you can stash all your items and you can keep them for later use. A beginner player must avoid these 5 mistakes to be ahead of every other player. You can go and check out the video right now. I'll put the link in the description below as well. This comes to an end to our part 1 of this series. In the next part, we'll go in depth in PvE and PvP combat. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Until then, stay chill and just explore the game.